Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you love captivating stories about men transforming into women in unique and fascinating ways, then be sure to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. Now, let's jump right into today's tale.
Chapter 9, Crossing the Line. The club's music faded to a low, seductive thrum as the night wore on. The pulsing beats that had earlier commanded the dance floor now softened to something more intimate, as if the very air knew the hour for frenetic energy had passed and the time for closer connections had arrived. Rhiannon and Marcus found themselves alone in a secluded alcove, the rest of the world melting away. The velvet curtains muffled the sounds outside, leaving only the hush of their breath and the steady rhythm of their hearts. "Some night, huh?" Marcus said, his voice barely above a whisper. His eyes kept finding her face, as if he still couldn't believe the transformation before him. "That's an understatement," Rhiannon replied with a soft laugh. "A week ago I was drowning in writer's block and existential dread. Now I'm—" She gestured at herself, the elegant lines of her body draped in midnight blue. "Now you're what?" Marcus prompted, leaning closer. "Everything I never knew I could be," she finished, the words hanging between them like a confession. Rhiannon's hand lingered on Marcus's arm, her touch light but electric. They sat close, knees touching. The heat between them was no longer deniable. It pulsed in the air, thick and heady as wine. "This must be strange for you," Rhiannon said, watching his face carefully. "Seeing me like this." "Strange doesn't begin to cover it," Marcus admitted with a rueful smile. "It's like looking at a familiar painting that's been completely reworked by the artist. The composition is the same, but all the colors have changed." "Do you like the new colors?" she asked, a hint of vulnerability creeping into her voice. Marcus looked down, voice rough with emotion. "I keep thinking I'll wake up that this is some fever dream, but I see it in your eyes." "These eyes are the only part of me that didn't change much," Rhiannon mused, running her fingers along the delicate skin beneath them. "Everything else shifted, bone structure rearranged, features softened, even my eyelashes are longer and thicker. But the eyes themselves, they're still the windows to whatever you want to call my soul." Rhiannon smiled, a little shy and a little wicked. "Do you want proof that I'm still me under all this new packaging?" He looked up, searching her face. "I think I already have it, but—" His words trailed off, lost in the hush between them. "But what?" she pressed, her new voice carrying a musical quality that Ryan's never had. "But it's not just your body that's different," he said finally. "You move differently, you laugh differently, you look at the world like you've never seen it before." "Maybe I haven't," she replied. "Not like this, not with these eyes, this skin." She ran her hands down her sides, a gesture that seemed completely natural now but would have been foreign to Ryan. "Everything feels different, Marcus. The way fabric feels against skin, the way people look at me, the way I experience, everything." She leaned in, close enough that her breath tickled his cheek. "I've missed you, Marcus. Even in the middle of all this magic, I missed you." "You could have called," he said, but there was no reproach in his voice. "And said what?" she countered with a small laugh. "Hey, it's Ryan, but I now have breasts and hips and I'm 5 inches shorter. Some things need to be seen to be believed." He laughed softly, the sound shaky. "I missed you too. Even now, I feel like I'm still chasing after you, trying to catch up. The ironic part is I'm now considerably slower in these heels," Rhiannon quipped, extending one leg to display the elegant stiletto. "Though I'm getting better at walking in them, it's all about the hip movement." "I've noticed," Marcus replied, a flush creeping up his neck. Rhiannon's hand found his, fingers weaving together. Her hand felt small in his now, delicate bones and slender fingers where Ryan's hand had been larger, stronger, with square-tipped fingers and prominent veins. "Then stop running, be here with me, right now." The invitation hung in the air, a delicate, dangerous thing. "What about Lilith?" Marcus asked, his voice dropping even lower. "Aren't you and she?" Rhiannon's lips curved into a smile. "Lilith isn't the possessive type. She's more of a catalyst. She enjoys setting things in motion and watching what happens." "And this, is that just another experiment to her?" There was a note of challenge in his voice. "Nothing about this is just anything," Rhiannon replied. "Not to me." Marcus hesitated only a moment before he closed the distance between them. Their lips met, a tentative brush, the gentle testing of old boundaries made new. Rhiannon melted into him, her body fitting against his in ways that felt both familiar and thrillingly strange. Where Ryan had been all angles and planes, Rhiannon was curves and softness. Where their heights had once been nearly matched, she now had to tilt her head up to meet his eyes. The differences were startling, thrilling. The kiss deepened, their hands exploring, Marcus's touch reverent, as if rediscovering a treasure he thought lost. Rhiannon guided his hands, emboldened by her new confidence, showing him what she liked, what made her shiver and sigh. "I never knew it could feel like this," she whispered against his mouth. "Everything is so, much more." "More how?" he asked, pulling back slightly to look at her. "More intense, more connected, like every nerve ending has been rewired for maximum sensitivity." She traced his jawline with her finger. Ryan's body experienced pleasure in such a limited way, direct, focused, over quickly. "This body," she smiled, eyes half-lidded, "this body is an instrument with countless strings, all vibrating at different frequencies." "That's quite the metaphor, writer," Marcus teased, though his voice was husky. "You have no idea," she replied, "though I'd be happy to show you." She drew him back to her apartment, her laughter low and inviting as they slipped through the city's shadows, the night charged with anticipation. The streets seemed to part for them, the world conspiring to speed their journey. "I still can't believe this is happening," Marcus murmured as they climbed the stairs to her apartment. "A week ago we were just friends." "We're still friends," Rhiannon replied, fumbling slightly with her key. "Just friends who are exploring new territory." "Is that what we're calling it?" Marcus asked with a smile. "Would you prefer conducting thorough research?" she countered. "I am a writer, after all, everything's material." Inside, Lilith was nowhere to be seen, though her presence lingered, an unspoken blessing or dare. A note lay on the coffee table, written in elegant script: "Enjoy your discovery. Some journeys are best taken without an audience. L." "See," Rhiannon said, showing Marcus the note. "She approves." "I wasn't seeking her approval," Marcus replied, though he looked relieved. Rhiannon lit candles, their golden glow softening the room. She moved with natural grace, each gesture fluid in a way Ryan's movements never had been. She paused, turning to Marcus, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. "Are you sure? I don't want you to feel." "Like I'm taking advantage," he finished. "Or like I'm being taken advantage of, or like this is too strange to process." "Any of the above," she said with a small smile. He silenced her with a gentle kiss. "I want this, I want you. The packaging might be different, but the soul inside, that's what matters." "Quite the philosopher in the bedroom," she teased, but her eyes were soft. "I contain multitudes," he replied with mock seriousness. They undressed in the candlelight, slowly, savoring the newness and the familiarity that twined between them. Marcus's hands trembled as he traced the lines of her body, awe and desire mingling in his gaze. "You're beautiful," he whispered, voice thick with wonder. Rhiannon smiled, her own hands exploring him in turn, rediscovering what she'd always known and what she never had. "This is so strange," she murmured. "Seeing you like this from this perspective, you're so much taller than I remember." "You shrunk," he pointed out with a smile. "Quite a bit, actually." "It's more than that," she replied. "It's like everything is from a new angle. The world is bigger, people are larger, spaces feel different." "And how do I feel?" he asked, drawing her closer. "Solid," she said after a moment's thought. "Safe and excitingly unfamiliar." Each touch was a question, each sigh an answer, until words fell away and only sensation remained. They made love slowly, learning each other all over again. Rhiannon guided Marcus's hands, showing him the curves and hollows that made her gasp, the rhythm and pressure that sent pleasure spiraling through her. Their bodies fit together in a new dance, clumsy at first, then sure, then wild. "I never imagined," she whispered at one point, her voice catching. "Imagined what?" he asked against her skin. "That it could be like this, so, complete." Marcus's name was a prayer on her lips. His touch coaxed her to the edge, over and over, until she was undone in his arms, shaking, laughing, crying all at once. Afterward they lay tangled in silk sheets, the candlelight painting their skin in gold. Marcus stroked Rhiannon's hair, his heartbeat slowing. "Your hair feels different," he observed, twining a copper strand around his finger. Softer, silkier. Everything's softer, she replied, nestling against him. Skin, hair, even the way I perceive things, it's like all my edges have been rounded. Not all of them, he said with a smile. You've still got that sharp wit. Thank goodness for small mercies, she laughed. I'd hate to think I traded my personality for a better wardrobe. I don't know what happens after this, he murmured, his tone growing more serious. Rhiannon nestled closer, her voice soft but certain. Neither do I, but I know I want you with me, in whatever comes next. Even if what comes next is you changing back, he asked, the question hanging in the air between them. She was quiet for a moment. I don't know if that's possible, or if I'd want it even if it was. You'd choose to stay like this, permanently. I'd choose to be where I feel most alive, she replied. Right now that's here, in this skin. He pressed a kiss to her forehead. Then I'm not going anywhere. Not even to get me a glass of water, she asked, lightening the mood. I'm positively parched after all that conversation. He laughed, sliding out of bed. Your wish is my command. From the shadows unseen, Lilith smiled, a mentor, a muse, and now perhaps a little envious. The story was far from over, and the bonds between them had only grown deeper. Perfect, she whispered to the empty air. Everything according to design.